We talk a little bit about the Parashat Ekev, and we also try to include a little bit of a Kabbalistic aspect to it as well. Some of you heard already this morning, but I'll say it again. Moshe, this whole incident that Moshe is actually standing in front of the people and talking, it's whole throughout Sefer Dvarim. He's telling them in a very interesting and peculiar way. And he tells them, Hinei hayom atem ovrim. And he says the word atem. The question is, atem, to exclude who? If I would say to you, we're all standing here like this, and I would say, guys, today you are going to upstate, you're going to...
Everybody here.
I said, you are going. What would you learn from the word you are going?
Not you.
Not me. Why is Moshe telling me that? Don't they know they're going? We know that Moshe Rabbeinu prayed taktut tefillot, 515 different prayers of all requests to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to him, listen, it's not going to work. But Moshe Rabbeinu is trying to pull his last ace. I'm not an expert in cards, but I'm using that. His last ace in his arsenal. He knows that when Am Yisrael asks for something, and the whole Am Yisrael asks for something, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, not that he's not able to say no, but would not say no. So Moshe is trying to hit to Am Yisrael, guys, today you are going to cross the Jordan. I'm not going to be with you. And Am Yisrael is right now either frozen at the headlights, like a deer, or didn't pay attention, or so on and so forth. But Am Yisrael does not, in unison, start praying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ribono shel olam, let Moshe come in. If they would have asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu to allow Moshe to come with them to Eretz Israel, I'm willing to bet that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, only because you guys asked me. And if you ask yourself, what's the big deal if Am Yisrael will ask from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Moshe, okay, he led you for 40 years. The answer is very simple. We got to the state that we're in today of no leadership of all aspects of Jewish life, mainly due to the fact that we don't associate leadership with Am Yisrael in Eretz Israel. Since Moshe Rabbeinu, and I know people were going to disagree with me, but as usual, I don't really care. There hasn't been a leader to Am Yisrael on the same magnitude as Moshe Rabbeinu. There were leaders who conquered, there were leaders who divided, there were leaders who led, but nobody was a leader as Moshe Rabbeinu. If you're asking me, Moshe Rabbeinu is not only the father of all prophets, Moshe Rabbeinu is the father of all leaders. If you ever have any aspiration to become a leader, look at what Moshe Rabbeinu had done and how he conducted himself and what he did and what he was willing to do. that is a phenomena to me, that Moshe Rabbeinu is not being learnt and analyzed in any leadership school of his qualities and his abilities and conduct of how to become a leader and what it means to be a leader. Everybody wants to be a leader in theory. Very few people are able to do so because very few people are truthfully willing to pay the price for leadership. People want to become leaders because they want to have a sense of importance. I want to lead a nation. I want to lead the city, be the mayor. I want to be a leader of a congregation. If this is your starting point, you will never be a leader. Because all you're interested in is self-promotion, not in leadership. You are chosen to become a leader, a true leader, or you become a true leader when you as yourself don't exist, nor the titles mean anything to you. People love it, that regardless of what immoral thing you did, you're still going to be called Mr. President or Mr. Governor. Or Rafael. You know who's, without mentioning names.
Don't you talking about the mayor of New York, soon to be?
Yes, one of those. So, Moshe Rabbeinu is asking Am Yisrael. And because of that, since we haven't associated true leadership, there were sporadic events of leadership in Am Yisrael, a little bit of the Hashmonaim, David HaMelech, and so on and so forth, but nobody was able to bring himself up and above everything like Moshe Rabbeinu. We suffer from this syndrome until today. So, if you ever asked yourself, how come Mashiach hasn't come yet? I'm going to tell you for the same reason that he's not going to come from this point on. Because it has to be a two-way street. The leader or the person needs to make himself available and ready for this task. AKA Moshe Rabbeinu, Mashiach. But the people, not only the person need to rise himself, to bring himself up, to bring himself above the selfishness of life. The people need to say, we want a leader also, and you are the one, and you're going to lead us. And that needs to be in unison, together. As long as we are divided, as long as we are fragmented, where we see Sfaradim, Ashkenazim, secular, religious, this, that. As long as we don't come together, we don't care if Mashiach will be this or Mashiach will be that. But let me ask you a question. What happens if Mashiach will be a secular Jew? And he will make tshuva. He'll be a Baal tshuva. How many people would be willing to accept Mashiach as a Baal tshuva? I was going to say, listen, Mashiach, we know what you did in junior high. We dug some dirt from the principal in junior high. Oh, you cannot be Mashiach. He's ready. It's not going to happen unless we're going to do so. Am Yisrael received the Torah. Torah is more powerful than, as I said to you, 100 megaton nuclear bomb that you have to handle. Imagine you have a clock ticking on this 100 megaton bomb. You know what's 100 megaton? It could crack the earth. It's a massive bomb. The one on Hiroshima was not even 1 megaton. I think it was 100 kiloton. And there's a time bomb on it. And you need to take it apart. How careful would you be? This is the Torah. And yet, the Torah was not given to individuals. The Torah was given to Am Yisrael together, under the mountain together, and befei echad, in one mouth. They said together, Na'aseh v'nishma. So in a way, the power of unity of Am Yisrael could override the power of the Torah as well. Example. During the time of Beit HaMikdash, there were great Tanaim, awesome people, with above and beyond anything we could even, contemplate on. Great people. Am Yisrael was divided. Sikirim, Isim, and so on and so forth. Didn't work out. During the time of Achav, the wicked king, they were united. They were idol worshippers, but they were united. Everywhere they went, they were successful. In a way, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, what's the point of the Torah if it was not able to bring you together? Look at our Gemara. That's the whole concept behind the Daf Yomi. We have the Mishnah from Eretz Israel. We have the Gemara from Bavel. We have the Rashi and Tosfot from France. We have the Rif and Ran from Spain and Morocco. We have everybody together. It should be like Am Yisrael should be as a Daf of Gemara. They live, they coexist without any problem on the page of the Gemara. That's how it is. That's why it's also important to keep the Tzurat Hadaf, the shape of the Gemara, the classic shape of the Gemara. Why? It's a reminder to us that they are different and they coexist beautifully. If you erase that, you don't know anymore, and then you get a little fascism there. It's good, but coexist as unity. There is a Shevet Levi, and Shevet Yehuda, and Shevet Shimon, and Shevet Menashe, and this Shevet and that Shevet. 12 different segments of Am Yisrael. But that's what makes Am Yisrael. That is the chibur, that is taking everything and bringing it together. When we separate, we do in berur, and we take in the tzad kedusha, the holy side, and we separate, we take that and we throw it to tzad tum'ah. What we get out of it, we give nourishment to the tum'ah, nourishment to the impurity, fueled by the holiness that we generate ourselves. So Am Yisrael needs to awaken this by himself to understand the importance of asking on behalf of Am Yisrael. Listen, Ribono Shalom, don't do a favor to Moshe Rabbeinu. Do a favor to us. We're asking you. If Am Yisrael will ask together for something to happen, it will happen. That's the whole concept of Am Yisrael keeping one Shabbat, and Mashiach will come, the Geula, redemption will come, because we are united around one thing. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Ribono Shel Olam, at least for one thing, one time, all of you agree. Do it one time. That's the whole concept. And until you're going to realize that, your own personal redemption would not be in place. Listen, Yeshua was a tremendous leader. David HaMelech, unbelievable. Chizkiyahu, the Hashmonaim, but none of them were Moshe Rabbeinu. We need to have an example that leadership is not only for the desert, leadership is also for Eretz Israel. Unfortunately, we fail in this field all the time. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is waiting for us, and He's keeping the good wealth of the covenant for us all the time. We need to remember this. We need to tap into that. We need to accept the other person as he is in front of us, not judging him, but trying to embrace him. This is the true redemption. Don't look for the titles, Dr., Rabbi, Professor, / lifeguard, I don't know, anything else you want to put there. Those titles mean nothing. When you designate yourself by your title, you're breaking yourself away from Am Yisrael. You should wear this as a badge of honor to be called a Yehudi, a part of Am Yisrael. And you should be able to recognize that Yehudi, that part of Am Yisrael, with the other person who is standing in front of you right now, Ba'asheru, whatever he is. I told you this last week. I heard it one time from this guy who is an amazing guy, very down-to-earth guy in Israel. He said, and I told you this, he says, don't be like a calf, the baby of the cow. What do they do to the baby of the cow? They only give him all the time. He doesn't have to do anything. They make sure he doesn't even move. They feed him, they feed him, they feed him, they feed him. You take. When the time comes, they slaughter it. Don't be like a calf that always says, give me. Learn how to give. Serve the people. Not to get titles. Serve. Give from yourself. As we said last night, Ekev, mitzvot she'ata dash be'akevcha, mitzvot in which you trash with your heels, they are not important to you, are the greatest vehicle for you to connect with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Because these are the opportunities that you have to connect for no ulterior motives. Not like you're making deals with God. God, I'll do this, you give me that, you give me that, I'll do this. Not because you think HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give you candies, gifts for you. Not because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a mean judge who's going to give you punishment. These are the mitzvot in which you can connect yourself. You do it because you need to do that. Remember that. And if there's no leaders around, you'll become the leader of yourself. Don't wait for others to lead you. And if you look at the cloud today, and I showed it to somebody this morning, you look at the clouds, you look outside of the window, it is dark. Clouds are thick. Sometimes life will give you thick clouds. Don't give up. Keep on looking. It might be that in the distance, you're going to see a little crack in the clouds. Don't wait for those cracks in the clouds to come to you. Sometimes you would need to run after it. And it was interesting that when I made this person aware of that, all of a sudden the wind shifted and the opening came to us. And I said to him, you see, life will give you opportunities. If life was full of all opportunities, always clear skies, you would never realize of your opportunities to go and you would not do anything. And if cloud will be always dark and you're always going to look around, you're only going to see the darkness, you're not going to do anything either because you're going to give up. One, you're going to be too lazy. I have all the time in the world. I don't have to worry about it. The other one is too much for me. Pursue those openings the gate of opportunities in your life to put in what you need to go in, and then you're going to go to a different dimension. Moshe Rabbeinu was trying to tell this to Am Yisrael. It's an opportunity now. We're all here together. We're all gathering now, and you're all listening to me. You're all listening to me. You guys are going. And they missed the opportunity, and it was a missed opportunity for generations, for thousands of years. So when life gives you a window of opportunity, jump right in. Sometimes you will have to travel to reach that hole in the sky, but before you know, it might come to you. Tap into the opportunities that God gives you. Don't fool yourself. You don't have all the time in the world. Make yourself available to become the leader, appropriate to become the leader, and if your time came, that's your time. And yet, if somebody better than you came, put yourself out of it. It's not an ego trip. It's not I am better than him, he's better than me. Let him become the uniting element of Am Yisrael around you. And b'zchut zeh tavo geula, amen.